Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LPL, our re-entry after Rift Rivals, where FPX have just, in the end, dismantled Vici Gaming. I think is a very fair thing to say, but Vici put up one hell of a fight. I'm hysterics. This is Clement Chewan. Now heading into game 2, where, oh, okay, I don't mind Vici so much anymore.
Oh yeah, Vici actually looked good in the early game. You have to think that they had a 1k gold advantage, a 2-1-2 Caitlyn coming out with the Infinity Edge and the Berserker's Grief against an unfinished item on LWX. So it all looked good, but we want to break down how FPX, an experienced squad, can punish the rookies of Vici.
That's true, because it had to come down to a moment for FPX. Before we do, though, let's talk a little bit about our MVP, GimGoon, because he picked it up on the Mordekaiser, the first one here for FPX, and bang! Yeah!
I love that mobster smile. That has to be the greatest picture of GimGoon ever. He usually is known as a person that shows no emotion. I wonder how they got him to do that pose.
Man,
That's absolutely
a miracle.
amazing.
That's how clever, because you're right. It's damn good looking. And that was a game 1 where GimGoon had to wrestle back control. It wasn't just FPX. It was mainly him who made some big plays that changed everything. And GimGoon there in that first game, you're like, very solid performance.
Congratulations to his first MVP, and we're going to start with the clips of how he took back control of the game. The most important part, Vici have a lead in the bot lane. They try to transition top, but Southwing goes into river alone for vision. What they should be doing is pushing that top lane in completely, forcing FPX to show, and then rotate into vision, and then rotate into river.
Yeah.
They don't do that. They run headfirst into the Mordekaiser, and FPX are able to pick up 3 kills in just that one play, and suddenly Vici just lose control of their side lanes completely.
Yeah, and it wasn't just that. It then turns into a domino effect for Vici then, right? Because once they lose any semblance of control, teams are able to run over them. That's why Vici at the moment, no series win. Then they've had strong early games, but the transition's not there, especially if you're going up against FPX, who make that transition as hard as possible.
Yeah, I would have wanted to show that clip a little longer, but what really happened there was you saw Vici pushing in the top side, and then we go into the second clip, which is how FPX understood that Mordekaiser could take away the enemy jungle and deny the smite, and even when it was contested heavily by Vici, take away the Baron right under their eyes. And these plays are connected. It was all about getting them that priority in those side lanes, punishing Vici for the swap, and then just outplaying the heck out of Jay.
Yeah, this is just so good from FPX. So chaotic by nature, but in essence, like, that's what game number 1 was for me. It was a chaotic play style between the two teams, and when you run Nautilus mid that does this much damage in the end, you're like, well, life sucks.
Definitely does for Jay especially. You can see in the last one, he cleanses the death charge, and then Mordekaiser walks up to him and is like, I'm sorry, goodbye world.
Cleanse that, yeah.
I wonder how many more Mordekaisers we're going to be seeing and what counters they're going to be. Camille was actually a good answer. However, it's one that only works very late into the game. Camille does need the
like the 3-4 items, right? So because we saw Ravenous Hydra, we saw Trinity Force, and you're like, this is good, except by that time, GimGoon picked up a couple of kills. The fighting started. His 3rd item, he actually over-accelerated over the Camille.
Yeah, if you were able to get the Titanic, not the Ravenous Hydra as your 2nd item before the Mordekaiser really went for the Morellonomicon, because he was going for he was going for Ryze and Protobelt first. If you got that 2-item spike over him, then you could win that trade, but that never really happened. Mordekaiser outraced it. GimGoon had too many kills, and the side lane didn't really work.
And to be fair, like, we never actually saw a typical 1v1. We saw the Baroned up Mordekaiser in the side lane who had to be dealt with by 2 people in the end by Vici, but we never saw that interaction I wanted to see, which was the Hextech ultimatum into the Death Realm to see if he's still locked in that hexagon, or if he's actually able to roam free in his Death Realm.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Because I feel like I've seen an interaction of it where he walks around the Hextech ultimatum, but you can't see it. That's why I was questioning myself. But it wouldn't make sense, because if GP's ult, if Teemo's Shroom is another good one, by the way. If Teemo throws a mushroom in the real world, Mordekaiser ults Death Realm. There are no shrooms. There's no shrooms. You can walk over them. But if Teemo then shrooms in the Death Realm, they stay in the Death Realm. So if you Mordekaiser ult him again in the same place, you walk over the shrooms that are stuck in the death row.
That's hilarious.
It's cool, yeah.
Oh my god.
So if you forget where they are and you ult, you're like, oh my god, there's
still
shrooms
Teemo shrooms
in the death row.
Pick up your own trash, Teemo. Take it back to the real world.
Someone's upset. At least you don't have to play against him in TFT.
Yeah, you know, anything that counters Teemo is a good idea.
It's a good idea, yeah.
Mordekaiser really shouldn't be a 1-cost unit in TFT. Look how powerful he actually
Oh
is.
my
He's at
God.
least a 5.
Yeah, he's pretty good, actually. He's pretty good. And Phantom's pretty OP. I'm sorry, we're not going to talk about TFT. I feel like every other League of Legends stream, every other caster around the world's like,
Have you
TFT
seen,
reference
have you seen
under
like
the
the Wii game streaming options right now? There's like 10 pages of TFT and 2
Really?
of League of Legends.
Wii game, right.
Yeah,
right.
like
I was like,
all of them are swapping over.
I thought you were talking about Nintendo Wii. I'm like, man, what's TFT doing on
We're,
Nintendo Wii?
we're old people. Like
Wii
League of
game
Legends,
is the client over here in
China.
Yeah, we're in China. Yeah, I forget. Ruse is up.
I don't know
apparently.
how you forget about that, but okay.
I've forgotten a lot of things here today. The mod was a cool pick. I'm excited to see it again. I trust that Vici will not give away something that powerful to GimGoon again, but that leaves up more questions. Will Qiyana be picked up or prioritized by FPX? Does Doinb played it just yet? Because this man, the dark technologies we talk about, Qiyana is surely in there, and it's only time that we have to wait for to see it.
It's really interesting how people play Qiyana because you have so many options within the kit. You have the brush, you have the terrain, and you also have the river. They give you different effects, but the most prevalent one that we've been seeing is using the brush for that invisibility.
Yeah.
If you have full cooldown, the time between keeping that up and it dissipating is only 0.7 seconds.
It's pretty ridiculous. You're like an Evelyn that just relies on brush.
You're pretty much infinitely invisibility, and you can see those outplays all the time.
You told me about a cool interaction with Duskblade as well.
Yes, because you are invisible so much of the time, you can consistently refresh Duskblade, and that's the primary reason that we see all of the Qyanas rushing for that item. It's just so powerful in jungle.
Yeah, it's so sick. Just like, you don't even need to be in the river in the brush. You walk through, you pick it up, and you get Duskblade every time. So I like the ingenious builds that we're seeing on the Qiyana. I like the experimentation that I'm also seeing on the Mordekaiser. I don't think we've seen as many proto belts on Mordekaiser in competitive. Straight into Ryze. Sonya's Hourglass, I think we saw last night first in the LEC in one of the games. Ryze the, pretty stock standard. So it'll develop here in the LPL, like especially if someone like Doinb ever picks it up, He introduced Righteous Glory Ryze, so why wouldn't he introduce something on something like a Mordekaiser?
The key thing for Mordekaiser is you do want to build a lot of AP on him. His AP ratios are actually insane. He gets 0.3 per second on his ultimate, and there's also a 0.4 ratio for on hit, which is actually incredibly crazy and gives him a massive mid-game spike.
If you get that passive, it's 40% of your AP goes into your auto attack damage as your passive is activated. So you get to late game and you're whacking people for like 400. No, that's a bit much. For like 200 extra AP.
0.3 AP per second is no joke. So you definitely want to go a heavy AP route. It's not like the old Mordekaiser where tank builds were still somewhat viable. You need to use that power in your kit to really go on. But later game, that also presents some problems for you. You're not actually a very tanky champion. And if you can't get that healing down with the W, then you are somewhat suspect. So Mordekaiser is really a mid-game pick.
Yeah, Vici back on the red side. Their first ban. Who else but Mordekaiser against GimGoon? So that'll be taken away. FPX have left Qiyana open once again. And it wasn't prioritized at all last game. We'll see if it makes its way through in game 2.
I don't really expect the Rift Rival teams to be picking up Qiyana because it was banned during Rift Rivals and they don't have much practice time. In fact, I actually met Warhorse when I came off the plane.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, in the airport. So that's how late they actually arrived back in China itself. So it's gonna be late for them to really adapt to that. I think the other teams are the ones that didn't go are really gonna be the ones that are going to be prioritized.
I think that gives onus to a team like Vici Gaming. Then they've picked up the Ashe here in Tahm Kench, a very popular lane. One I saw last night in the LCK. I'm sure as the LCK is going on as we speak, we'll probably see an Ashe Tahm Kench. But the Comet Ashe has been introduced, and it's good to see the LPL picking up with it.
Yeah, it's just a very strong bottom lane that once you get the bottom lane free, it can start making plays all across the map. So Vici Gaming, they have a very clear strategy set for them already. You want to have a strong ganking jungler early, make sure the lane wins, and then you can move your pieces freely across the board. Now, FPX have a great answer to counter that, and once more, it's going to be the Lux and Caitlyn combination. They were the first ones to run that in the LPL, and it's a great counter against Tahm Kench.
Yeah, it's a return against Puff and Southwing, so I like that very much here from FPX. I also like seeing GimGoon back on the Gangplank here. It's a shame we don't get to see the Mordekaiser. All I want is that interaction, but leaves opportunities open and available. The Vladimir, which Jay has actually played in the past. We'll see where this ends up going.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Now, Vladimir has been falling off the radar a little bit in terms of the top lane and at the mid lane especially. If you think about the power picks right now, I feel like mid jungle have far more priority than any other lane.
That's true.
So Vladimir has something that is a little bit slower, has been disappearing. And it is a J champion, that is true. So, but I wonder if it actually works out here. Seems like Vici are undecided yet on this pick. And also Vlad's kind of a weird pick if you're playing for Ashe and Tahm Kench. Usually you want something that can actually enhance the crowd control potential.
Yeah.
So I think most likely still going topside for Chelizi.
Surprised we didn't see something like the Camille again, you know, especially if it's going to run against the Gangplank. At this point though, remember Vici Gaming probably want to change things up after... Nah, actually, what am I even saying? Like, you can rinse and repeat, see how you go.
Yep, FPX are just waiting on for a very strong mid-jungle duo. It's so hard to predict what Doinb actually is going to play.
Yep.
I really want to see the Kled back, you know? It's a champion he actually hasn't touched this split.
So, Doinb at the moment, I think I've got it here, Clement. 10 champions in total. You think that's a lot. By the way, Chovy in the LCK has 12. Let me think. Scout actually has 11 right now, by the way. So, we've got a very wide mid lane champion pool here in the LPL, and Doinb, let's see if it becomes number 11, because Zoe's banned away from Jay. They think the Vladimir is going to be top, which is the wisest choice. Ike's back on the Xin Zhao once again.
Oh, come on, give me the Rengar. Sejuani was hit in the recent patch, not by much, but her HP does go down per level. A lot less tanky early game.
We still saw it as a big priority in Rift Rivals in 9-13, so just the power of the pick itself. Or you could do this. Why not?
This is a lot more
fun.
Do this, do this. Ah, yeah.
Really?
The Lee couple.
Well, hang on.
LeBlanc Lee Sin is one of the strongest.
But is Doinb a LeBlanc, you know, like, Doinb in the past hasn't been a Zoe player, hasn't really been a LeBlanc player. It doesn't suit him. What suits him is something like this, the Ryze, even after getting nerfed.
All right.
What's wrong, Clement? Talk to me.
Like, the Ryze is okay. It's not special. I feel like it's very easy to counter in the mid lane. Now, this is interesting. I swapped it back again. So we're not going to see Doinb roaming around the map early game.
Yep.
He's going to have a lane where he's completely countered. Actually, this is a double counter coming in from Vici. Xin Zhao early game against Lee Sin. You can take on the Lee Sin with 60% health and still win. So Vici should be running the show for now. And I think what Vici want to do is they want to take that mid and jungle power towards the bottom side of the map. You see FPX's bottom lane. They're going to be pushing all of the time, and they're going to be easy targets. So FPX actually going for a much later scaling composition. They have great range in the late game with the Gangplank and the Caitlyn, and they have great scaling as well with Ryze. Everything scales very well on that team composition. So it's not really the FPX style, but it's more of a venture into the post 30-minute world where you don't see FPX much.
Let's reflect a little bit here, because we saw the non-FPX style in Rift Rivals against Kingzone. It didn't work out for them. They got torn apart, and it looked like FPX with, you know, a mid lane that couldn't get constant shove in the early game, that couldn't play around the 2v2, which is what they're known for, didn't have a win condition and just fell to pieces. So here for Vici, the chance to take it to a game 3 relies on the fact that they can outmatch FPX in this early game and take over.
So this is going to be an interesting test. FPX without priority on Doinb don't feel like FPX. That's why I'm not super thrilled about the composition.
That's what the team's all about.
But this is a much different look here. I think it's more about sieging and pushing in the bot lane, but they have to be very careful about that. Whenever you're pushing against an Ashe, instant arrow to the face, a lot of easy follow-up will come in on the other side. Also, the Vladimir could teleport to the back as well. So this is a game where I feel like it's going to be putting LWX to the test. How safe can he actually play?
I feel like that intro there, the car intro, looks a little bit like the TFT allies. You know, when you teleport, I think they did that on purpose, Clement. I think the sponsors did that on purpose. Anyway, ignore me. Let's get into game 2 of Vici and FPX. And an early game that we missed is what happens when you get in late. How the hell are 4 people that low?
So
wait.
FPX are in trouble.
Yeah, they're
in a lot of trouble. They actually went in for
my
this.
god, there was a double binding. Yeah. Stop chanting, it's over. Like, no, not the game,
got
but
the kill.
honestly, yeah. Oh
Boy.
Shit.
I didn't see the kills go down.
No.
You're excused right there. I saw the double sums on Chris and was like, oh, FPX lost this. I didn't see the 2 kills they had. Well,
that's a Caitlyn with 2 kills.
I
was right to let it out there. That is not good.
Yeah.
So this is part of the quarrel of complaining about getting into Summoner's Rift at a minute in, Clement. We need to talk to someone.
We really don't need to see them walking out of Fountain. We need to see what they do in the level 1. I think that's more
that's why we... Oh, God, Southwing. Oh, double headshot with Trap. And the Tahm Kench is out of here. It's Doinb. Let's ignore all that. All I want to talk about are the 2 kills. It's a phase rush in the mid lane. We'll come back to it eventually, but this is the FPX we know and love, Clement. Ike's wants his own blue buff, and Tian doesn't want to give it to him.
I really wouldn't want to force this. This is pretty dicey. If they get the slow onto Chris, they can chase him down.
Good scout of the week from Jay, Doinb and Tian ready to turn around the engage, but because LWX has that double longsword, he can walk up here. Ike's caught out once again in the brush. They flash on in. Sonic Wave. LWX has 3 kills in 2.5 minutes. This is when you start getting scared.
And this is the new Caitlyn. A lot of times we don't see Caitlyn as just scaling into late game. A lot of times it's all about abusing her extra trap damage. That was a recent buff that gave her 20 extra damage on traps.
Yeah.
And if you have a Lux, it's actually very easy to get that extra damage out. Double headshot into the combination. We have to remind people, Caitlyn plus Lux is being run as a kill lane. It's not a standard chip lane anymore.
Yep. There's just so much shared damage between the two. And I remember that our Luxes were seeing that Ardent Sensor, that Athene's on Holy Grail first, so the Caitlyn doesn't end up dying. Doinb even taking harass in this lane, it doesn't matter anymore because at this point it'll be about stopping that bottom lane, getting that 1.5 gold back that LWX has taken single-handedly, and doing something here. Because Ike's even stealing away the blue buff. That's great, but he needs to get into one of these lanes. He needs to get in there fast and stop that win condition from FPX, that scaling condition from happening at 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, what Vici are looking at is they really need to get a kill onto this bot lane to equalize it, or else LWX is just going to take this tower before Vici really can't do anything on the map, and they're just going to start rotating everywhere. So a lot of pressure onto Ike's to do something early. He still has his flash through all of those early skirmishes.
Yep.
So he should be looking towards this side, and he does have priority mid lane as well. So there are good tools that Vici can play with. However, it really does have to come down to execution, and he really shouldn't be thinking about spending too much time on the top side.
He's forced into vertical jungling as well. God, I thought it was going to get worse for Puff there. As he goes back to his own jungle, the wrong side of the map. That's right, Clement. He's stuck on the vertical side that he doesn't want to be, while Tian controls all, heads back towards his own wolves, and Tian with a level advantage, a camp advantage. Doinb just walks past the jungler and has not been spotted.
Oh, this is so bad for Chelizi. How is Doinb able to do this? Moving past all the wards. Hello, Chelizi.
There we go. All right, he just walks away. Doinb not going to get the optimum, but he can walk back down now, head back to his wave, which has been shoved in. Still fine for Chelizi.
That was a really funny ping from the top side. You can see GimGoon actually pinging Doinb away.
He's like, no, it's fine, it's over, it's all right.
Doinb's like, Roam brother? Roam brother? It's like ungrateful top laners.
You know what it is as well? It's speaking from experience. Right?
That was a big minion wave, I understand.
Yeah, but speaking from experience, when you're halfway there, you got to keep going. You're like, let's just keep on going. It doesn't matter. That is a risky teleport from Puff.
It definitely was.
He almost died. One binding would have done it, but of course you got the Devour there from the Tahm Kench, so feels safe by his support. Waiting for LWX to finish off this first item, and we've got a BF sword already, so that'll get it close. Are we going Infinity Edge, right? I'd assume the same.
Yep, just stacking some extra damage. You can still build that into the Last Whisper later on, so it's in no rush, really.
In no rush? Well, it's like doesn't have to be in a rush.
Yeah, he doesn't, like, he doesn't
He
need...
He got the early train,
items.
you know? Tian can just keep moving towards his bottom side. Doinb trying to make the same roam. Ix hasn't been spotted out, but Tian has. Coming in over the side, Jay going to get popped out a little bit. Ix now. There's the Sonic Wave, there's a Resonating Strike. He doesn't have ulti just yet, and Tian gets some burst damage down, which means Doinb can do that. Wow, yeah. Of course, Ryze still has that big damage. And if you land everything, that's what happens.
That was just a pure 2v2 outplay. We were talking about how Vici actually had the lead right here, but after that trade, no HB bar to contest anymore.
Yep. And that good ward there that spots him out as even playing in the top side. GimGoon still wants to take it, but the damage has been done. The Gangplank burnt out a little bit here. Chelizi winning out the lane, so good news here. As Tian might be called out by Southwing. There's the first tongue, the second a lash. Gets locked down onto Doinb. He's going to get Unleashed Power. He turns, looking for Ix, and Jay almost gets burnt down himself, but Southwing takes it into his own hands with Sonic Wave. Connects blindly over the wall. Gets the smite, gets the heal. A double kill for the Lee Sin, and Puff has to flash away. Vici are getting dismantled in their own jungle.
This is insane from Tian 2 games in. He's just outplaying everyone mechanically throughout the board, and I'm pretty sure Vici forgot about the existence of Gangplank trying to contest that. That was just a very, very straightforward move from FPX where they had Chris roaming before anyone else on the enemy team. They had full vision of it.
Wow. That's what a BF double longsword can do.
That's what the longswords are for.
Puff's like, I just needed levels for natural resistance, and LWX hitting level 6 nice and early. Gonna get this bit of turret playing. Puff leaves. Oh, okay, Southwind's here. You might be all right now. Might being the key word. Turret plating gonna go down once again. That is a lot of gold over to the bottom lane. Tian moving in for the gank, and that's the binding that connects. Tian just walk in. He just needs to press Q. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, good devour. Safeguards away. Doinb, however, he's here. He has the flash. There we go. 1 kill. Southwind has nowhere to go. This Tahm Kench. Happy New Year, good sir. You're not going to be throwing anything in the air. It's over for you. He flashes away. The good dodge in the end and the binding. Maybe it's not over. This is why you don't always listen to casters, folks. But Southwind walks away with a glimmer of hope. That hope getting dismantled even more so by the bottom lane.
You gotta feel bad for Puff. He stopped 2 of his backs just for 2 different members from FPX to come in and stop him.
Small
Can Jay
wins that
find
count.
something here?
Answer being no.
Yeah, FPX just have too good of a vision control on this bot side of the map. Chris has been doing a great job of keeping this side completely lit up. So once you saw Jay move into River, instantly in vision of the Lone Brush, FPX back out safely. Nothing much that can be done here. And just look at the items here. What is Caitlyn doing?
Caulfield's Warhammer.
Wow.
So, Clement, Essence Reaver first.
Okay, that's an interesting build. We've been seeing mainly just the Infinity Edge rush. Caitlyn, early on, she does lack a lot of AD damage, so you do want the Infinity Edge just for some extra damage, but this one is a interesting build. Still keep herself open for Stormrazor options as well.
Yeah. Okay. I wouldn't say. I like it. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. You know, like a lot of push available in this lane. True. They want to make sure they can move to the top side. They can go for a lane swap. That 10-minute Rift Herald that we commonly see in the LPL. We haven't seen that just yet, but this game is definitely enabled for FPX. LWX, the wave is pushing in. That's not good for Puff because their vision control down the bottom side is not enough to withstand a gank.
Yep, and it is 9.13, so we'll talk about it after the game.
Yeah, red buff into Dragon's Rage. Crisp is here as well. Ace in the hole onto Ix. It's blocked away by the ult himself. Tian is waiting to re-engage as he doesn't need to. Ix didn't get the buff. He didn't get the steal. He walks away after popping an ult himself.
That's a good patience from Tian. If he went in there, Jay would actually just insta-kill him. So sometimes you have to recognize when not to take the Q2. As I was talking about, Essence Reaver does build out a BF sword on this patch. So it does look like that's what...
Wow, that's a Gangplank hold on to Chelizi. Goes into the Sanguine pool. He'll have himself the Hemoplague heal up here, but getting closer and closer. GimGoon with the Sheen able to start pressuring the lane.
Yeah, the power of pirates. Not only are you
Clement.
gaining gold early.
Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah, I know you love the game. It's okay. A lot more freedom. There's a big chat. Oh, hang on. I'm going to hold that thought again. It just doesn't stop. Top lane, there's a barrel set up. And GimGoon, unable to find anything. It looks like the Observer walks away because this bottom lane turret finally is going to drop. But I say finally, but 10 minutes into the game. Good news for LWX. Give him the solo gold as well. Wow. He's already that accelerated. He can just walk forward into a 1v2.
And you have to feel bad for Chelizi. He's been playing this lane well. However, GimGoon has 4 assists under his belt. So
that's true.
That's the reason why this Gangplank suddenly is able to take out the Vladimir. It's not supposed to happen like that.
Doesn't have his Protobell as his first item. Tian now paying a visit to the top side, and that means that GimGoon will be able to catch up in some of this farm, able to push out the wave safely, with Tian being spotted nearby. And Rift Herald at 11 minutes. Pings going down for Vici Gaming, looking to contest.
Oh, straight teleport from the Caitlyn as well. They're trying to accelerate the play we're talking about. Very common in the LPL.
With an
Take
Essence
the bot
Reaper, by the way.
Get the top. Essence Reaver for extra shove, extra mana.
And Chelizi, he wants the shutdown gold. Teleport's coming in. LWX, where's your support? Oh no, here comes the Vladimir. Doesn't have the ult, but has the flash available for follow-up. There's Ace in the hole onto Puff. The arrow does land, and here we go. Essence Reaver for LWX. How much work does it do? He flashes away finally as the rest come in. They heal him up. Now the turnaround. They're like, you know what? You're not dealing with him anymore. The Scatter the Week dodged away. LWX,
just ult him.
You fancy-footed. Jay's like, nah, man, I won't even get the kill, even though he probably would have.
Why not just ult him? The heal is already expended from Chris. You could try, right? If Sork boots double, yeah, he was in kill range there.
So, you know, there are questions, Clement.
The great adventure of LWX. You know, you CC yourself with the ultimate and then take an arrow to the face, still get out all fine.
I love how, like, as soon as the ult came through, there wasn't an arrow in response. Like, let's wait till it's done. And then arrow then, that's fine. They tried something on LWX and the rest of the team, the flash is in. Like, Chris was in instantly with his summoners and the shield. He's like, no one touches my bro. And it's just part of the synergy that we've always talked about with FPX. LWX and Chris constantly put in weaker lanes, but when they excel like this, you can see why. You ask, what is the weak side of the map for FPX? And you say, the enemy team. Like, that's it. Now with the Rift Herald and the gold lead, LWX by himself, yeah, give him the gold. 160 each.
Huge poke potential coming in. There's one teleport for Chelizi left, but there's no backline wards. So nothing much that Vici can do here. Also, their ultimates are not up either. This is just pure chip time for FPX.
And LWX has no issue. He just deletes Puff. Yeah, that happened.
Getting caught in the crossfire.
And they're still here. Stop it. Leave, Ikes. You need to go. Southwind even absorbs the damage. The ace in the hole blocked by Southwind. That should hit Southwind, by the way. That's a weird interaction, but it doesn't matter. LWX got what he came for. Another kill, number 4, added to the list.
They need to be so...
Oh
my God.
Again.
LWX. He's just toying with his food right now.
Yeah. Southwind uses the heal to get the flash. FPX's bottom laner finally leaving after fancy footwork for the second time. Look at this. 1 onto Jay, 2 onto Jay, onto Southwind. Tian just over the wall. This is the game, Clement.
LWX's motto is, if I can auto someone, I will stay and auto someone.
As he should.
He's always played like this. We call him a shotgun for a reason.
Oh, good hit there from Chris. Sonic Wave, he's waiting. The ult finally comes out. Tian waited long enough, and Ike has to burn his ult defensively yet again.
Yeah, good idea there from Tian. He still gets knocked back, however, and doesn't really find the kill, so Ike does very well with his abilities. However, they still can't get the push out of their top side.
Oh, make it stop. Southwind now caught out. Double life binding.
This is so oppressive.
How do you stop this, Clement? Let's help the viewers at home.
So
with 1,400 gold in turret plating, 700 of which went to LWX. How do you stop this?
Vici actually have a lot of tools, but their problem is they're constantly taking damage and they're not going in as an entire wave. So when something like this is happening, the best way to dislodge the siege is you have to do a full engage. And they have Southwind to do that. They actually have the frozen arrow as well. But if you look at these plays, they're just going down one by one. And that was a great 90 caliber net coming in from LWX. Sniping him with the slow, instant EQ combo, very common from Caitlyn's.
BF Sword Pickaxe picked up. That is the second item, Infinity Edge, incoming.
I love this Caitlyn build.
I just love the way LWX is styling on this. He hit level 8 so early on. And Chris has sacrificed a lot of levels. Now level 10. He's 2 over Puff right now. 30 CS, and it's about to be shown the damage that can be done now. Big from Southwing. Yep. Easily done. Chris saves his 80 carry. And Jenna Chrysler now on cooldown.
Well done from Chris. I love that item siege as well. Vici just can't get onto LWX at this point, and they're going to bleed out turrets until they can dissuade one of these sieges. It's already 7K up for FPX, and we're seeing no answer whatsoever.
We've got the cheeky 7-1 there on the top as well as the double cloud goes down. And you're right, there has been no answer from Vici Gaming. And further to your point that you're pulling up, Clement, the stopping of FPX's momentum on that full-on engage. Vici right now is scattered to the wind. The Vladimir stuck down bottom lane with teleport available. Seems to be the most fed member right now for Vici, but you're waiting a long time for Chelizi, who is being out-itemed by the Trinity Force Gangplank with also the Executioner's Calling in hand too.
And you can see the way Vici are engaging, it's just really half-hearted. They send an arrow out when a Mikhail's already being built, and there's only 3 people mid lane. So there's not enough coordination to really take out that siege anyway.
Yep.
Vici, I just want to see them just throw everything in the kitchen sink at least once and try to see if they can get a kill on LWX. If they don't stop this tempo, they're dead anyway.
17 minutes in, and it feels like as if we get to 25, it's going to be over for Vici. At the moment, feels like that anyway. There's a flash burn simply done. The Ashe in the hole threatens enough, and LWX sits in the mid lane, has access to the rest of the map. And FPX now even Doinb. There's a Rod of Ages Ryze with the tier stacking. He's that condition that they probably won't even need this game.
I want to see LWX go crazy. This is your game, LWX. This is your risk.
This is your moment.
Go in 1v3.
Yeah.
Chris will try his best to save you, but
hell yeah.
It doesn't really matter. I think you can do it.
I believe Clement.
A lot of LWX highlights in the past have been him on Kaisa and Killer Instincting into like 1v4, 1v3 situations.
Yeah.
It doesn't always work, but when it does, it's damn awesome.
And it looks good. I mean, this is the game where the Caitlyn 1v3s at the very least. You know Caitlyn's not going to be that champion that is going to super mechanically outplay. You're going to see a net. And if the net doesn't get her far enough away, she's probably dead anyway. But there's so much support behind her. There's an Infinity Edge now in her build as well. LWX moments away from hitting that level 11. There it is. He's got a bigger ace in the hole. The ace in the hole. So Southwind, 3 levels behind. Please leave, because even the Tahm Kench is going to die.
Yeah, and there's no lifesteal yet on that roster, so...
Yep. Because remember,
taking
Puff,
the comment.
Yeah, it's Comet Ashe, the most common Ashe build at the moment. That's a Trinity Force coming second. And there's not going to be lifesteal for a very long time.
This is way too easy to set up. They wait until Southwind is out of the picture. They ult Puff. Puff almost needs to go back home. And they can start chipping towers.
What will you do with your extra 15 minutes, Clement?
You mean of this game?
Of the break that looks like it's going to be coming early.
Oof. Usually I go to the toilet.
Rightio,
Cast
okay.
your secrets. Look, I would chug some Red Bull if we had it.
I feel like we shouldn't say the name. Because
oh.
Nicely done, Clement.
Oh, we don't get the direct sponsor. It's fine.
That's true. Also, that ace in the hole half health Puff, by the way. So that's what we're dealing with here in this game. I'm still looking across the board. I'm keeping my major focus on Chelizi, because I think the Vladimir has the biggest potential for the outplay, the pick potential that we talked about with Vici Gaming's composition. The follow-up team fight is from Chelizi, and he looks like he's heading towards a Spellbinder right now as a second item, but even the damage from Tian, he just walks on him. He's like, yep, that's you.
All right, this is the crazy 2v4 we've been waiting for. LWX going in for the net. That's my boy, LWX.
Yeah.
Always do you. Be the shotgun.
Still just stuck in this mid lane. Too quiet of a game from Vici. So last game, we said to FPX, you need to make this play happen. This game saying the same thing to Vici, but even more so. Make something happen now. They are losing everything.
I don't like how long they're taking to actually find and engage. Here we go.
Get
it onto the kill user.
It's onto Chris, but he just heals back up. The Unleashed Power finally takes down the support. Vici, it took you long enough, but you're going to get a kill at the cost of this turret.
Yep. It's just a little bit too slow, too late. They don't get LWX, which is going to give them the most economy back.
Yep.
And they do find Chris, which is great. You know, you stop the Mikhails early, you find it. But I felt like the play itself, just they didn't play it to the full potential. You didn't see Chelizi come in. You didn't see Abyssal Voyage being used. And in terms of results, it also didn't stop the siege. They still lost 2 towers during that.
But let's be positive about this one, Clement, because I know that it was at least something. It was something.
It was something. They did go in. And Tian had a great disengage here. They finally found that 1 kill. But if you look at the summoners, most crucially, LWX didn't expend anything.
Yep.
So that means there's almost not going to be a follow-up second engage. You almost need to go for broke in that play and just make sure you shut down LWX.
Because now a triple cloud on FPX, and the Caitlyn's going to be attacking and walking fast.
True.
You know what? I take that. There's going to be an Infernal coming up after this. Watch it. Ready?
Okay.
Kill it. I just need to see what the next drag is going to be. That arrow went completely wide.
Like, I'm not sure why they're doing some of these arrows. Like, the arrows when Caitlyn's underneath tower, like, it's not really going to do much for me.
Oh, no, Jay. Oh, good spot. Good guess. That'll keep him alive, because Doinb 2 levels ahead on this Ryze, and you know exactly what would have happened.
And we have to mention that you really have limited chances to go for these all-in engages. Every time you do, you're pulling multiple members from the side lanes. And just look at how far Doinb is ahead. He's already 2 levels ahead because he's being unopposed here. So,
and he's got a normal build.
Yeah, which is
where's
boring.
the righteous yeah. Where's the righteous glory Doinb is another great pick from FPX. Chris does not seem to miss here with this Lux.
I will say Rod of Ages, this patch is great. Yeah. So if you're sitting on a good early game, the efficiency is much higher this patch.
More health and mana this time, right?
Also costs less, so might as well take it.
That's right. About 100 gold, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Clement Chu.
I don't have the exact
Oh,
version.
come on. Doinb and Chris pairing as a unit in this top lane, though. And look at Vici. To defend the top lane turret, they need 3 people. It's just Doinb. The rest are still in the brush. They're still waiting it out. And if Vici back here, back timings are not going to favor them at all. It's only Jay in the end. They scatter it out. As we've talked about with many teams in the LPL, back timings have actually plagued so many. And it's good to see that for Vici, that won't be them at this point because LWX is here to siege.
This is a fine back. It was a unified back when their minion wave hadn't hit the tower.
Oh, here we go, though. Until 1v2. GimGoon down to the bottom lane with Chelizi. Chelizi wants to find the trade-off kill, but Doinb's here. He's dead instantly. Now, GimGoon, Doinb together. They can shove this up, and Vici have no other lanes under control.
Yeah, they're too weak to take the 4v3 in the top side either, and these ace in the holes. Bye-bye, Jay.
Oh, that was quick. Not sure what to say about that, Clement, but that was just simply done.
You just shouldn't walk through that side.
Yes, very true. So FPX, I mean, there's 2 people dead. 30 seconds, 20 seconds. At this point, double inhibitor, I think, or triple, considering Gangplank's in the mid lane, and Ike's parlay, brother. While
there we go,
just wants to end the game. The Caitlyn walks past the inhibitor turret, and Ike's almost dies to a snipe from Chris. Clement, the death timers are so scattered, I don't know what's going to come next.
That's my boy. I think he used his ultimate and then just flash forward to kill Puff. It's a great move, and that's the LWX I know. I wish he would start doing this earlier. Little bit disappointed that Vici haven't given me a full engage. You have 5 people on the map. You have to try to stop something.
It was such a good pick before. That was 1 auto attack onto Ike's. Look at this. Yeah, you're going to have to exhaust him. That'll help. He still did a truckload of damage.
Why would you try to walk back and exhaust him?
We can do it now.
You got to try, I guess.
You know what this tells me, though, Clement? Ow.
What?
You know what this game tells me? Is that FPX, like, this is first versus 16th.
It is.
And the difference in the LPL is astonishing. Like, the first place team are miles ahead of Vici Gaming. And that's just the way things are right now in summer.
I would say that most teams in the LPL are miles ahead of Vici, but that the rest of the crowd isn't that, there isn't that much of a separation between the rest of the crowd. So don't take this as a indicator of how the bottom, like 14th, 15th place teams look in the LPL.
That's very true, you know, just especially since for Vici Gaming, even taking it to a Game 3 doesn't seem to be in the works anymore. Earlier in the split it was a lot better, and now, shut out over this Baron. Ike's trying to walk towards it. The Enchanted Crusader, this is finally the fight around Baron. That's a two-man ulti, but Jay just gets disintegrated again. The ult comes through. Two members already dead. Doinb having the time of his life. Destroys Puff 2. LWX flashed over the wall, and Chelizi's like, give me this, Caitlyn. I have to kill her. Finally dies, but Doinb flashes over anyway, and that's just going to be the game with teleports going in. Southwind has to watch his base burn.
And Vici, just too thick of a wall for Ikes to flash over. The game's going to end right here. No anti-siege plays being made, and FPX take it so smoothly.
We could have called this one in 5 minutes, Clement. It was very fair to say that those 2 kills to LWX ended the game quickly. The flash kick from Tian not going to cement the lead, but I tell you what will. FPX absolutely stomping Vici 2-0.
The key MVP for me has to be Crisp in this game. Their mid-jungle actually had a deficit versus the likes of Syndra and Xin Zhao, but Crisp, establishing that much vision with his pushing lane, allowed his mid-jungle to actually arrive in the bot lane first. I think that was the key thing that flipped most of the matchups on the map. They were able to take the bot lane super early on, and Vici never mounted a successful counterattack.
Yeah.
They really needed to throw everything at LWX, stop it before it was completely rolling them into the inhibitors. Like, if you can isolate them in a long lane, break the siege, then you still have a game on your hands. Vici never put the pieces together, and FPX kind of styled all over them.
Speaks to the inexperience again, doesn't it? The reason that this roster in spring, we referred to them as a developmental squad once again, is because in comparison to the likes of GimGoon, Doinb, like even Tian has started making a name. LWX and Crisp have been in the LPL for so darn long now. They can't hold a flag, and the matchup showed that wholeheartedly.
Yep. LWX and Chris has been here for multiple years now. Like
they are the longest standing duo in the world in Premier Region.
And that synergy has really began to blossom this split with the how well they're playing around Tian. If you knew FPX, we were talking about this in 2018. Hectic team. 2019 with Doinb and Warhorse.
Yep.
Much more cohesive, much more clean. And they're finishing all of their games now, like almost before the 30-minute mark, looking like the strongest team we have in the
when
LPL.
that team comp should have gone past the 30-minute mark, because
Didn't
that
need
was they're like, oh, that's our condition. But yeah, you're right. One lane fell and the rest fell for Vici Gaming. That was not even an uphill climb. Look at that. That is a travelator. You're going up to Woolworths. You're picking up your groceries, and I tell you what, everything's on sale. So you pick up, you fill that trolley up.
That was the quietest game I've ever seen Doinb play, because he didn't actually need to do much.
That last fight, he was still just punishing everyone. He was big though.
Here's the problem for Vici. If you draft Syndra and Xin Zhao, you need to do something with it early. This is so strong as a duo. You can get kills very easily. There's multiple sources of CC. You have burst damage here. They had priority in the mid lane over Doinb, but weren't able to transition it to River.
It was a constant shove. Jay constantly had the shove, you're right. Doinb walks up to the top side. He suffers in CS because he suffers in his lane, and then Doinb just walks to the bottom side anyway. He's like, I will sacrifice the CS because our conditions are on the board. And what does Jay do? Well, stays in lane, doesn't really match, doesn't look for the fight. Nikes can't react as well.
So I think you can see the issues here with Vici Gaming. They can't play what they draft is essentially what happened. They can't force it hard enough in the mid and jungle to make a difference against the composition of FPX. And if they can't shore up that point, it's really hard for me to see like Vici Gaming climbing out of their hole. I don't want to talk too much down on them. I felt like they still had some good plays here and there, especially in Game 1. That was actually a very good game. Jay played a lot better than I thought he would.
One of their stronger early games, especially against FPX. So there is something to take away for Vici, more to take away for FPX. So can this team be stopped? Is the new question, because I've got their their match history here. JDG, BLG, Rogue Warriors, WE, LGD, RNG, V5, and now Vici Gaming. They're still looking to run into the top tiers, like IG.
TES, LNG, and IG are the 3 remaining teams that they really need to prove themselves.
And then that's the further question, right?
But that's pretty much it. If you think about their split so far, it's halfway through, and they only have 1 or 2 real contenders left.
Do you remember the number? Last time, I think it was 9 wins. That was the number to secure playoffs. And even then, it was due to tiebreakers, right?
Yeah, it was very close. You need 10 to be safe.
Let's say 10, even 11 wins, just to be 100%. FPX could well just secure playoffs in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, they could do it by week 8. I think that's fairly reasonable for them.
Yep.
We have 11 weeks total for the summer split. So.
That's it. So, like, for FPX, the road continues on, but not for much longer because they're already comfortable. They want that first seed once again, of course, because last time it secured them semifinals, secured them Rift Rivals, and they were our best performing team at Rift Rivals, and you can see why.
It's got to hurt FPX that they didn't move into the finals last time in the spring split. If you get into the finals, it means that you take another second place in the summer playoffs, and you're automatically going to Worlds.
That's right.
Yeah, most of the time, you're just going there based on points alone. So that not happening to them and them stucking in a 3rd place means there's a high chance they're going to go into the Gauntlet, and that has to hurt when you've been the best regular season team the entire time.
But they can be confident in the fact that, like, if they can make, you know, playoffs once again into a high seed, then even if they go into the Gauntlet, you're saying, okay, still look like the strongest team out of the other questions that go into the Gauntlet.
With the Gauntlet style, it's always a regular season is more important because you can get automatic seeding very high up. You get first place in your regular seed, automatically you're top 4 into the summer playoff. And Rogue Warriors are actually very close. Not Rogue Warriors. Doinb was actually very close last time as well. So this is going to be a lot of motivation for him to finally get it.
Old Rogue Warriors, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing how this man can move from team to team and actually just make such an impact.
Because he brings his own system.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. Teams need frameworks. You can't have a team that's like, we play everything. Whenever a team tells me they play everything, it means that you do nothing well. You know, it's like, we can do this and that. There's so many strategies you haven't seen before. Whenever you see a coach say that,
you're like, well,
I'm usually like,
take a step back. What team were you again? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, do FPX do everything well? No. But what do they do well?
They don't need to do everything.
Yeah, that's
well.
right.
That's what the thing about strong teams. They don't need to do everything well because their first and second ability skills are just going to kill you outright.
Yeah, and a team like Vici can't run into it. So it's a good news story for them. It's an 8-0 start. You pointed out LNG, IG. Who else?
TES.
TES.
The other one that they really need
because they beat JDG. JDG was their first matchup of the season. They dismantled them.
TS is probably the closest team to FPX that I know of. The relationship between Tian and Knight is still there, so a very strong connection between those 2 squadrons. That one's going to be an interesting one.
And then IG and FPX, I mean, like, that's the matchup we thought would be the grand final in spring.
Yeah, FPX did beat IG in spring split as well, and I also have to mention that FPX's win streak went to 8 last time around.
They did.
They are reaching now. They want to go over that. They want to challenge for that. We have had splits in the past where a team won every single series in the LPL. EDG did that once, I believe, in 2016.
Because even IG in 2018 spring and summer,
they were only one off.
One.
Yes, they were only one off.
And it was RNG that shut them down.
Yeah, and they still won the anyway, so that doesn't count. IG are like, it doesn't count. So they're chasing after the shadows of EDG and what the EDG have accomplished in the past, and I think actually have a very strong chance of getting that, doing it right here. If you think about TES and IG and LNG, I don't really think they have their ducks in a line. Ducks in a row. Yeah, row.
Ducks in a row. I took line this one.
Row just yet. RNG still struggling a little bit to get Zhao into that entire composition and play multiple styles, while IG, we're not really sure how they're going to look right now. Ning surprised me at Rift Rivals. I think Ning did a lot better than his regular split performance so far, so he looks like he's back on track. But contesting against FPX, I don't think they're at the caliber yet.
There'll be a question, because either way, FPX right now set up well for playoffs. They just need to continue that streak, and by however means they can do it through LWX, who was our MVP in game number 2 for a good reason. How much? 41%, or 42, sorry, for the Caitlyn.
Love the build right there. Essence Reaver into a full pushing style. Really did work wonders there.
Edge.
Lots of damage early. Like, if you go Infinity Edge into, like, double crit attack speed items, you feel so bad. It's so weak. You just don't have enough attack damage at all. Yeah. And that's why I think the way people are playing Caitlyn these days, it's much more about early game kills. You run a kill in, you get her fed, and you don't feel that attack drop off later into the game. So it's very important to have a good start with her, and they have been doing well.
I mean, two kills is a great start for FPX. That's a 2-0. However, we are going to be moving on to IG and OMG, who are over in Chengdu. So we're going to have a very short break. Then Clement Chu and myself will be back with this matchup coming up next.
这边直接硬打，岩雀一个
打上来，
墙，
两边 TP 都落了，这个位置是要打一波正面的团战，但是位置被分割了，看来 BLT 目前为止没有团抱齐呀。
对，这边盲僧第一时间被打的时候交出闪现，但是长虹已经顶不住了，长虹这里先倒了，后续 Mark 交出自己一个中亚，但是这个位置感觉是跑不掉了。
而且这里节俭到了之后可以继续点嘎啦，嘎啦这位置应该是在劫难逃。
绿毛往前顶一顶，但是这个夹子怎么说？
但有波小兵出来了，舔了一下，哦，精神规避一个大招。
不过叶普这边很给劲儿，闪现拿下了大军的人头，同时 Mason 这边有闪现也走不太掉了。
Mason 也倒下了。
啊，关键时刻叶普顶住了。
哎，京东有想法，反而是京东这边觉得，哎，你要再上来的话
，Mason 这边很肉啊，开始白盾硬顶一手，并且沙皇这边哪里来的？绕过了一个 TP。 哇，这里的话双杀了一个 C 位。TP 没有赶过来，平时POS 这边的话交了一个闪现，好像还是走不掉呀。恐惧到之后，但伤害来讲打不太动，怎么又睡到？
睡到了，队友第一时间没有出手，有个金身，看一下后续伤害好像有点打不动这个塞恩。
这边这个稻草人的大招伤害很高，京东这边前面吃不太消啊，继续往前追击，基克斯这边收下2个人头，后续跑起来了，拿下了3杀。沿途突得很漂亮，现在这个位置很尴尬呀，在塔下想反打，伊普拿下了一个人头，后续的一个进场，大兵这边想反打，Zoom这边打套伤害来说拉开距离，大舅子的一个输出还不错，一个神长洗礼先收了一个潘森，
又是个沿突到3个人。 这波后续的话，没有人处理 ，miss 一个。